home going to college was harder on myself or on my family. So for me, I was getting used to living on my own and kind of finding my way, while they were getting used to not having me around every day. They weren't seeing all the new friends that I made. They weren't attending my tennis matches. We all weren't taking trips on the weekend into the city. But social media actually allowed me to bridge the gap in between them. So whether I was just posting the things I was doing at night on Twitter or Snapchat, or if I was posting longer in-depth updates on my Instagram or my Facebook, it allowed me to kind of stay connected with them even through the distance. In recent years, a lot of larger companies have kind of realized that, or larger and even smaller companies are realizing that they can now connect with their customers through accessing social media. So they're realizing that there's this whole new mass of people that they can reach by creating accounts that almost speak for them. So my generation, the Generation Z, kind of witnessed the birth and the boom of social media all in one. So I don't really even remember a time when there wasn't at least Facebook or there wasn't at least something. But today I'm going to explain how the platform that was first created to connect people with one another has morphed into a business tool that connects not only businesses with people, but people back to businesses themselves. So the research that I've done, it's actually been a lot of personal things that I've noticed and that have caught my attention, but I've also done research that I found online. So a lot of the times, one of the things I've noticed is that people kind of write off social media. They're like, oh, it's just something that you use, like, oh, I'm sitting in the doctor's office, let me just scroll through Twitter. But it's actually been making major headway in business deals and business communications. So today I'm going to be talking about and explaining the concept of using social media to connect and spread with both people and businesses. So the online communication isn't new. It's been around for a while. It really started with the introduction of the internet. But the platform created by social media gives a much more personalized experience. So Webster's Dictionary defines social media as a form of electronic communication through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content, which is a giant umbrella of things that could fall into this. But basically, since 2003, 2003 was kind of like the introduction of social media. And within the past decade and a half, there's been just an explosion of all these new platforms that have come out. Some have faded, some have only grown stronger, but there's more than a dozen that are visited by hundreds of thousands of people multiple times a day all over the world. So I'm going to start off by showing the key aspects of social media. I think I picked out the four main ones. So number one, let's get this to start. Number one is that users are able to follow people that they identify with. So whether this is your friends that are from school that you don't see, it's the family that you don't see all the time, brands that they like, so Nike, NASA, anything else, and even celebrities. So whether that is Adele or Des Bryant, anybody, there's a whole vast list of people that you can follow and whether they follow you back and all this. The second main thing is that your account can be as public or as private as you want, and your settings can be changed at any time. So a lot of the times, people that are creating a social media profile just for themselves, where they just want to connect with family, may make theirs super private to where not everybody can see everything that they post. While businesses may be more interested in having a completely public profile where everything they post can be seen, even just with a hashtag that associates with them. The third aspect, and this is something that I think really caught on with, the boom of tablets and iPhones and things like that, is that your account can not only be viewed on the platform's website, so I don't have to just go to twitter.com on my computer. I can also use apps on my phone or my tablet. So if I'm sitting at home, I can get on Twitter, or if I'm on the bus or in the car ride with someone, I can just scroll through Instagram and update. And a lot of the times, the website, which this is a screenshot from my Twitter profile online, looks a lot like this is a screenshot from my Twitter profile on my phone. So a lot of the time, the phone is just a little bit smaller, a little bit more condensed, but it's just a lot more user-friendly. And lastly, this is, I think, the coolest part, is that individuals and businesses too are able to post whatever content they desire. So whether you want an Instagram account that's devoted to your dog, or if you want to have a Twitter page to keep up with sports, talk about the latest games and all that, or if you want a Facebook group to plan your family Christmas party, see who's bringing what to dinner, you can use all of these for all of that. Okay. So next I'm going to kind of transition into how you use whatever social media you want to do, whatever you find best for you, how to curate your own platform, how to build your platform on there. So how you want to find your niche, where you want to post what you want to post, what you enjoy posting, but also what people want to see. So I think the first step, one of the most important steps, is to building your following is to follow people that you know. So whether that's family, friends, people you went to high school with, people that you're friends with to high school with, all that, kind of start a following. And then a lot of sites have a friend recommendation tab that'll come up, and so a lot of mutual friends, and you can kind of find shared interests or shared friends through that. And a lot of the times, especially on accounts like Instagram or Twitter, where you are just posting content, not as much personal things, people are kind of willing to follow others that they don't know super personally. Secondly, you want to really stay active. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook somewhat all use different algorithms your newsfeed isn't curated chronologically, it's through an algorithm. So if you're not posting, you're probably going to get swept under the rug through that, versus if you're posting, if you're commenting, all of this, that's going to show up more frequently on your friends' timelines. You also want to connect with other influencers. So if you want to connect with, try and find if you're like a sports fan account, try and talk with other sports fans accounts, see what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Just talk to them. It's kind of, you build a community within that. Also remember to keep your growth in mind. So once you've found your niche, your little spot, whether that's based on the look of your posts, or when you post, or if you're selling something, or if you're advertising something, still keep in mind to comment and to interact with your followers, because they're following you for a reason. So these steps can also translate into how to build your profile for a business. So startup companies, the smaller ones, can follow those same steps that an individual would, just as they're building themselves up. But bigger, like already established businesses that already have like a real life customer base, can use social media to dive into this whole new market that may just be online, or just prefer shopping or looking online at things. So one of the largest kind of draws to social media is the fact that it's free. So while you can advertise, your business can choose to advertise on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, post ads that will show up based on your interests, that if you have a smaller budget, or you're just kind of trying to get into the hang of things, you can just establish an account for yourself, and you don't have to exactly pay for a big old ad. Also, you want to get on the same, I think this is something that is large for businesses, or for the business side of things, is that you get on the same level as your customers, as a customer service aspect. So your customers aren't having to call and wait on hold and get all frustrated, or they aren't having to email someone, which is then forward to someone else, and then they've completely forgot what the main issue was. They're able to just send a direct message, or just type out a tweet, or post something on Facebook, and they're able to really interact with you. It's like a straight line of communication. And something that I've noticed myself is that it really gives personality to the business. So if whatever I'm scrolling on, I like to see the content that a business posts that kind of fits in with the culture of whatever meme or whatever trend is kind of going on. So whether that is Whataburger and In-N-Out kind of bantering online about who's better, or it's Wendy's giving away a free year of chicken nuggets to whoever can get 1 million retweets in a week. So that kind of just it makes the company seem less of this big corporation and more of just like, oh yeah, that's the Wendy's Twitter account, they're tweeting again. So it gives personality to the chain. But yeah, so while social media is often written off as just an entertainment thing, it's just something you scroll through before bed or while you're killing time, and it's just kind of seen as entertainment more than a real tool, I think a lot of businesses have kind of broken that stigma away. So it's kind of booming into the business world at an even quicker rate than it boomed in just to society. It's kind of taking over that. So soon having this online persona as a business will just be necessary to your success.